Welcome to Peter King's Training Camp Tour, presented by Die Hard Batteries and Advance Auto Parts. Peter King with NBC Sports here, Santa Clara, California, home of the 49ers, and I'm here with Trey Lance, who's kind of the man of the hour in the San Francisco Bay Area now. A lot is expected of Trey Lance, third pick in the 21 draft. And Trey, I wonder, how do you take and how do you deal with sort of the pressure that comes with what is a very high-profile job, even though you don't have the long resume that a lot of your peers have?
I think for me, I put that pressure on myself. I don't worry about, respectfully what you guys say. Anyone in the media or anyone outside our building, I know I've said it, a million times, but I really mean it when I say the only opinions that matter are the guys in the locker room and, my coaching staff. Anyone outside of that, has no impact on me at all. So, I put that pressure on myself to not let the guys, on my team down.
You're in a bit of a strange situation in that, when I come here today, I'm having a conversation with John Lynch. I ask him about Jimmy Garoppolo, and he points out the window, and he said, there he is right there, and he's working out, rehabbing and working out by himself. And then you guys go out to practice, and Jimmy is not there. So he's still on the roster, but he's just kind of doing his own thing. Has it felt weird to you that the guy who led this team deep into the playoffs last year is sort of the forgotten guy here?
No, not for me, honestly. Like I've said it again, Jimmy's been a big brother to me. He was great to me. He could have done a lot of things to make my life harder, a lot harder than it could have been last year. But he taught me everything. Any question I asked him, he had an answer to. Never held anything back from me. Like I said, just a true big brother to me. So for me, I'm excited to see him healthy again, and excited to see what he does in the future.
So when you talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and he talks about you, it's always very good. He's helped you a lot. I wondered, when you look at him, what would you say are one or two of the things that you've taken away from him that he's helped you understand about being an NFL quarterback?
And I think, right, what you said right there, just everything about being an NFL quarterback, how he handles himself on the field and off the field, a true leader, a true pro, in the locker room, him watching tape, everything. From those standpoints, at events, handling people in the media, everything from those standpoints. For me, it's a lot like when I was in college, as a redshirt year last year. I got to take everything in, soak everything up, and he was, obviously a great person to learn from.
Right now, is it something that sort of gets you excited that you were expected basically to take this team, take some lumps along the way, and it's your team right now? How does that make you feel?
Super excited. Obviously, we got, very special roster, awesome group of guys on the offense, some new guys that came in that are going to be huge for us, making plays, and, the talent we have on this roster, specifically on offense. I'm excited to, get those guys the ball and see what they do with it.
You formed a bit of a tighter bond this offseason with Brandon Ayuk, I understand. Tell me about your relationship with him, what you think that's going to mean for your on-field work together.
Yeah, we got to spend a lot of time together, got to live together for a few months in the off season. For us, just getting to know each other better, not only on the field, but, Brandon had an incredible off season. The way he came to work every single day, not only on the field again, but taking care of his body, the mental reps, everything from those standpoints. He wanted to separate himself, and I think he's going to do that this year.
Something that not a lot of people know is last year in the final preseason game, you broke the tip of your throwing index finger, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. And so even though it healed and you're able to come back, you really couldn't use that index finger the way you would normally want to use it. How much of an impact on you did that have? And then how did you sort of relearn after getting some bad habits last year? What did you do this off season to sort of relearn how to throw the football correctly?
Yeah, I mean, after not being able to kind of finish off that finger just because it couldn't straighten, physically after, bone heals, you get the scar tissue and everything in there. So for me, I think kind of my brain kind of took over a little bit. It wasn't something I was going to use as an excuse, but obviously, the way that the ball came out, I think was affected by my finger a little bit. But going into the offseason, first thing for me was just getting healthy, so getting that finger straight. And once I can straighten it, it was just kind of getting back to the basics, back to how, I threw the football before all of it happened. Which is a little bit weird, re-gripping the football and thinking about it, consciously thinking about how I grip the football. But honestly, it was a lot easier and came a lot faster than I thought it would, going back to just my grip specifically. But as that went on, I felt great throughout the offseason, and I think got a lot of good work done.
You went to work with Tom House and his people in Southern California to talk about mechanics and to work on mechanics. What'd you take away from that?
A ton. I had worked with them also, a little bit pre-draft, and then also, last offseason as well. Adam Dado, John Beck, Taylor Kelly, they do a great job down there. And for me, it was awesome to just be able to be around a lot of NFL quarterbacks. Get to be around, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff. Those guys are in and out of there. Carson Wentz as well. But for me, just seeing how those guys work and from a mechanics standpoint, obviously those guys that I work with are some of the best.
Two other things about where you are right now. When I watched practice, I see somebody who is, there's not a lot of wasted motion, a lot of wasted movement. It seems like you have sort of really worked on how fast you're able to get in position to throw the ball. There's just not a lot of wasted motion. Tell me mechanically how you are right now versus a year ago.
I think I'm in a really good spot. I think I'm honestly pretty similar to where I was a year ago as far as just throwing the ball and getting my body in position. I feel like mentally everything's a lot more clear for me. I'm in a much better spot mentally. So I think that probably smooths a lot of things out as far as my footwork. So some things that might look like, mechanics, I think some of the time is a lot to just to do with, understanding the offense for me and being able to play fast.
What is the biggest key to you having success? Like when I watch you play, I think one of the biggest keys is really honing in on not only your mechanics, but where your body is in relation to when you start throwing the ball, your accuracy, because a lot of that, it isn't just having arm strength, it's getting in position to throw the ball, perfectly, like a Ryan or a Tom Brady. But tell me about your view of your accuracy right now and whether you think it's going to be good enough.
Yeah, I think I'm in a really good spot right now. So I'm excited. I feel confident, excited for this year, and I know these guys are going to make a lot of plays around me.
Last thing. So as somebody who grew up in a fairly small area of the Midwest, you went to North Dakota State. What has it been like for you to adjust to a big city, gigantic expectations, huge stadiums, all that? Is it different? Do you try to tune all of that out? Or what sort of factor has that been, all of that stuff been in adjusting to life in the NFL?
Yeah, I think, just moving to California hasn't been as big of an adjustment as I thought maybe, probably because the weather's so nice every single day. You don't have to worry about the snow, don't have to worry about the rain very often. And as far as football, between the white lines, football's football. So for me, the whole big stadium, big crowd, and everything like that, I put just as much pressure on myself, as I was at North Dakota State as I do right now.
Kyle Shanahan told me, I like coaching Trey Lance. You like playing for Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, without a doubt. No one I'd rather play for.
Trey Lance, good luck this year. Hope it works out.
Appreciate you.
Yep. In Santa Clara, California with Trey Lance, I'm Peter King.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.